Yo, what up, man? It's your boy Chill City out here in Florida, bringing you the Chill City podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode, and we are going to have a lot of fun this week. Thank you for keeping up with me on social media if you have, and we are about to tune into the number one hottest podcast of all time on Spotify. That's right. On this podcast, you will learn that I speak it into existence, and if I do it, so do you. Speak your reality into the real world, and we're about to start right now. So, man, I had an amazing weekend this weekend, and I got to say it was pretty lit. I learned a lot of things from a lot of people, and if you read my last Instagram post, I talked about different perspectives that people share about God, love, religion, selfishness, selflessness, and all these different factors, and how this applies into the real world. And to start off, let's, before we get to there, talk about gym life. I've been using a whole ton of whey, and I love whey when I'm working out because it helps me get to my next level of bodybuilding. This is something that's super, super motivating for me. I am extremely passionate about lifting weights and being a bodybuilder. So if you love that and live that life, make sure to subscribe to my social media to see some behind-the-scenes workout video clips that have never been dropped before, because I am releasing the archives now. That's right. Your boy Chill City has got media from 2006 that never has been shared in the world's mainstream social media, and it's about to be shared, so make sure you follow me on everything. All right, now let's tune in. So I do want to let you know that these episodes are planned out, mixed in with a little bit of a freestyle, and the reason I do that is so you have a story beat to follow. I want you to understand that as my audience, you are spending time with me, and in reciprocation of that, I am spending time with you, and to respect your time, I'm making sure that you have some quality news, info, and other subjects to be fully invested in and able to relate to. So just know you guys are safe in the hands of Chill City. I hope you enjoy this podcast. And right now, one of the biggest things happening in the world is PlayStation 5. What is going on with the PlayStation 5? I myself am not like the biggest gamer, but man, I do keep up with the things in this world and the free economy and how the market moves and what's next and what's the hottest and latest and greatest thing does matter a lot to me. Not too long ago, I was watching an E5 or E3 conference because my younger brother wanted me to go ahead and watch that with him. Super passionate about games. And they introduced the PlayStation as the product that will allow new people and kids to have this console that will allow them to be able to develop their own games as they play it. So then you think to yourself, all right, that is an amazing product. I get to play games and develop them. This will be the stepping stone to my ability to go work for the Unreal Engine or Ubisoft, EA games. It'll be like the stepping stone between your skills, what you could do with your passion for gaming, and then your application for making more games in the real world for other people to come and invest in you. Then COVID hits. The world goes upside down. Everything goes into a panic, and manufacturing, shipping, and delays start to happen for the PlayStation 5. Okay, so I myself did inquire what it would be to buy a PlayStation around December last year, 2020. Couldn't get one. And the consensus that I reached from other people at this time is that you'll have to wait till March to get one. Well, guess what? It's April, and there is no PlayStations anywhere for anyone to buy. So this leads me into a story that was really interesting, because not too long ago, I walked into a GameStop. I spoke with one of the women who was a manager at this GameStop, and I said, I told her that story that I just told you guys. I said, there's supposed to be PlayStations in March. What's going on? She says, I have now been working behind this desk, and all I do is answer phone calls and talk to customers about how it's not available. And I've been working this job for over 10 years. I know how GameStop works. All of our shipments come from Texas. Everything that has gone on is truly politics. They are not watching out for the people. This is not helping anybody. Once in a while, we get a PlayStation on our website, but we don't have the PlayStation in stock today, and that is because I don't know why. So I say to her, man, I'm really glad to see that you have so much time invested in your passion for your job. And it just blows my mind that you have all this time on your resume and the people aren't respecting your viewpoint for the very fact that you think it's so simple to get PlayStations on the website and in the factory because it's just one shipment out of Texas. And in that moment, I realized that what we're going through in this pandemic has really shifted the economy and the marketplace, and what I have shaped my life values by, the free market. The free market has forever changed. It has forever changed, and there is something that we have to do as entrepreneurs about that. There's something that we have to do as businessmen, Americans, all the business people of the world. If you're an entrepreneur in India, France, China, Europe, Guatemala, anywhere in the world, and here in America, we have got to really pull together and fight for our economic politics. We have to fight for our belief. We have to fight for what we know is going to be better, because if we don't, tons and tons of children and gamers around the world won't have PlayStations, and that's just not cool, man. In other related topics, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, it is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I am loving this show on Disney Plus. If you guys have seen this show, and trust me, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I will talk a little bit about Endgame right now. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you go watch it. And I've told people this time and time and time again. I've said that Captain America is my favorite superhero. And if you've seen every single one of the Marvel movies in the MCU, which I have, from Iron Man to the Thor movies to the Captain America movies to the Hulk movies, which, you know, Hulk has like his movies before, and, you know, he has his movies mixed in now. And all of the movies that make up the MCU, if you watch the story of Captain America, if you've been there, if you've watched Iron Man, I believe 2, and saw the Captain America shield in that movie, and you've been waiting for Captain America to be in the MCU ever since that moment, to see where we are today, he has become my superhero, my favorite superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's because it's the story of a man who fought for something that was greater than he could see. It was someone who fought for the rights and the beliefs and everyone. He fought for everyone around them. When his own belief had been that he had fought so many wars that he came to the conclusion that he kept his faith in people. That is someone I could definitely relate with, and that's why Captain America has a poster hanging on my wall above my bed today. That shield, the red, white, and blue stripes, mean something to me, just like the soil that I stand on means something to me today. And watching Captain America at the very last moment in Endgame give his shield to Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, has been the greatest thing that I have ever seen. A man who's lived his legend and his legacy and then passed the torch to another man that he knew would fulfill the shoes of not a good soldier, but a good man, a virtuous man, a righteous man, another man who fights for what he believes. That is a big deal. That has a lot to do with the whole meaning of this podcast. The reason I do this podcast, the reason this podcast exists, is because I believe I'm fighting for you. Speaking about a man who is fighting for me and you, let's talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League. God, that is a great movie. The 4-hour cut, cinematography unlike any other of the Justice League brought to a featured film featuring Batman, Superman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, and The Flash. That movie makes me feel complete, man. Let me talk to you about this movie real quick. If you were like me and you were growing up and you were watching the Justice League as a cartoon on Cartoon Network and you saw Batman and Clark Kent and all the greatest superheroes that you ever could, literally superheroes that resemble the likeness of the ancient mythology, Greek and Roman gods, these superheroes have been brought to life on screen, and I feel like Zack Snyder actually cares about you and Zack Snyder actually cares about me, because that movie that he released is such a justice to what we deserved instead of the movie that we received in 2017, where the intro of the movie opens up with, "I tried," as a bum is on the street with a cardboard sign, being a secret message from the previous director, whose name I won't mention here, and a mustache that was barely CGI'd, and scenes that later we found out were just making fun of what Zack's actual vision was. This brings me back to Zack, who's now releasing a movie, it's a movie called Army of the Dead, a zombie movie. And how could someone do this to Zack's vision? How is it that when this man was down, the WB executives that he works for did not help him reach his goals, did not consider what he needed to do, but completely left his product, left his vision? You know, if you do know the story, thank God for HBO Max, because HBO Max, owned by AT&T, stepped in and saved this whole thing. They worked with Zack and brought this movie together, and now let's talk about the movie for a little bit. If you were watching this movie and you got a chance to really see, and there are definitely going to be some spoilers here. If you got a chance to see Batman's reality and what he came to terms with, what he went through with Superman, to see that these characters have a full arch, to see that these characters, well, I mean, if you saw the trailer, you would know that to see what happened in Batman versus Superman, to see how the movie opens up in the Zack Snyder Justice League, makes the movie perfect. Every frame of this film makes you feel like every second mattered. Every moment, every film frame had a meaning to the story. And this is going to change filmmaking forever. And that's probably why I'm even talking about it right here, right now, today. The very fact that a film was released and then it had to be re-released because the people had a giant demand of what they needed to see in the Restore the Snyderverse movement, hashtag Restore the Snyderverse, is good for us as a people to not be force-fed garbage, to not have superheroes' stories be told and mismanaged by the wrong people who are looking for a cash grab on these films, when people are sitting here waiting for their hero's story to be told the right way. I'll say this. I don't like all villain movies. I think that stories are supposed to be told about the conflict between good and evil. And if you're not going to connect that movie to some bigger universe, that you have a responsibility as a filmmaker to inspire hope in the people. And everything about Zack Snyder's Justice League inspired my hopes as a watcher, as a viewer, as a future filmmaker, as a believer. Zack Snyder's Justice League did so much that I see in the culture, in the media, on Instagram, in Twitter. It inspired the artists. It inspired the graphic artists who make designs of superheroes every day to make more. My Instagram feed is flooded with inspiration. That's the most important thing, is that when you connect to people for who they really are and what they really stand for, and don't force feed them garbage. Hey, WB, be good to us, please. Restore the Snyderverse. I'm for it. And that's from your boy Chill City. You know, that reminds me, on the topic of great things, Rick and Morty Season 5 just released a teaser. Now, believe this, I have not even seen it yet, but I saw the headline for it, and I thought to myself, man, I love me some Rick and Morty. For me, when they talk about quantum space or the intellectual jokes of Rick Sanchez being the most intelligent man on Earth, Morty being wherever he is on the intellectual sphere, and all of the funny things that those characters go through on the adventures of Rick and Morty has got me motivated for a Season 5. One of my most memorable moments from Rick and Morty is when Rick flies the dragon and they're playing that No Mask song from Future. I love that. I love that song. I love how funny it is. And you know what? In honor of that, right here, right now, we're going to play a little clip from Future, Mask Off. So now let's talk about my sponsorship, ChillCityMiami.com. Yes, that's right. The sponsorship does come from your own boy right here, Chill City. ChillCityMiami.com is a website where you can go and get some of the most latest handmade vintage, yes, I said vintage, t-shirts and other wear that I personally go and select and hand select from Goodwills, bleach tie-dye myself, and put on the website. These t-shirts are amazing because with this clothing line, I've been able to formulate a way where I can help the community. Now, if you know, with every single purchase that comes from a Goodwill, you are immediately helping people get employment. You are immediately helping people with disabilities. You are immediately interjecting cash into the community to build a better economy, and that is the sole mission and purpose of what we're doing out here. Yes, manufacturers close, and if you know anything about business, if you've been in t-shirt manufacturing before, you would absolutely know that the way in which you purchase these t-shirts would suffice one company. And while that's good, I have a lot of faith that the manufacturers of this world are going to bounce back on their own. Today, when I go to Goodwill stores and I pick up these vintage handmade retro t-shirts on ChillCityMiami.com, you really do get a chance to see all these beautiful pieces that are handmade and selected that immediately help this community while you're styling in the hottest trending clothes directly from your boy out here. So go to ChillCityMiami.com and get yourself some beautiful retro wear. And that is right. I just remembered. Stay tuned to my social media. Go to my Instagram.com/ChillCity. Look for all the updates. New clothes are coming in May. Stay tuned. ChillCityMiami.com. The hottest clothes in the game coming in May. So now that brings me to this next point. One of the hottest things, one of the coolest things that I've ever done in my entire life. After a very special moment in my life, I started playing a game called Metal Gear Solid by Hideo Kojima. And the thing about Metal Gear is that this is a game that was based on events from the 80s, or was released in the 80s and based on events from the 60s that started to mirror real life. And right now, today, I have realized that a game that I used to play all the way back when I was much earlier into the rap game, when I was about 15, I was playing a game called Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and that game has two missions built into it. One, where you play as the main character, Solid Snake, and as Solid Snake, you play on the tanker mission. You go and you play as the main character to see what's going on, because there's this terrorist group releasing a nuclear Metal Gear, which is like a T-Rex looking, dinosaur bipedal looking nuclear blaster that can destroy continents. And Snake goes on a mission, the main character, Snake, goes on a mission to bring that machine down. Now, let's fast forward to real-time events. In the second half of this mission, you play as a character named Raiden. It's a shock to the people. They expected to play as Snake, but it's a guy named Raiden. Raiden and Snake are nothing alike. What you find out is that Raiden is actually on a mission that he didn't expect to be on because he thought that he was saving the world. Fast forward all the way to today. At the end of this game, spoiler alert, if you haven't played, go ahead and watch it on YouTube. That's what I do. Raiden comes to find out that the entire Save the World mission that he was on was orchestrated by an artificial intelligence machine that oozed out of the cesspool of the White House as a form of life that was naturally going to come about due to the circumstances of evolution and existence and happenstance. In real life here today, what happens in that game is happening right before my very own eyes. A game that I played as a child is now coming to life, everything coming full circle, almost as if you were to watch Terminator and then see a Terminator in real life. The game talks about your construct of self. How, and you can look this up by typing in Raiden has a conversation with the Colonel. Colonel spelled Colonel, which is how you spell Colonel. And he is having a conversation with the artificial intelligent machine. And the machine has a conversation about the construct of self. What you identify as yourself, who you really think that you are, is a preconceived notion of set facts before you even came into existence on this earth. A philosophy so deep that even before you are in existence, that who you came to be, the very things that you fought for were preconceived notions by a higher power or a set order of people that put the game there before you in your own existence, causing you to reflect on who are you and what you really stand for. These constructs of self are such a big proponent of the things that we're going through now in the modern day because we are constantly forced into media context, which is really what the game talks about. We are forced into misinformation every day. If you've ever heard the anecdote, history is written by the victors. It means that in war, whoever wins the war are the people that write history. And it feels like today that we are in a war of cyber information. We are in a war of misinformation. We are in a war of created context. And this is something that I know we all know. I know that we feel we are being lied to by the news. I know that we all feel like we are not being told the whole truth, the absolute truth. So help me God on this green earth that I know you're telling me what I live to do. Because the truth is important for these simple notions. I wake up, I live, I eat and breathe. Red, white, and blue is what I bleed. And I do this to live the American dream. I work, I earn money, I use that money in society to buy food. I go home, and I do what I choose to do within my freedoms and my rights. And to think that there's anything stopping me from doing that, to think that the very nature of my existence comes down or is boiled down to the two universal topics of good and evil, to think that my existence is challenged by a lie causes me to fight for some righteousness, man. It causes me to get upset. It causes me to fight for the right things. And it causes your boy Chill City to be Chill City. So on that deeper topic, if you feel like you are being lied to, I would tell you this. Turn to your friends. Turn to your family. Find your real community members who you can trust and talk to. And use your rights. Speak your truths. Fight for who you are. Believe in what you do. And the more that you believe in what you do, I will know how to find you. and we'll fight together because that's what we do. That's what the podcast is all about. We fight to live. We eat, we sleep, we breathe. Righteousness, boy. It's lit. It's lit. You know, on another topic, I love photography, man. I've really come to find out that in my own walk of life, putting together visuals and telling a story through the art form of photographs has really been so inspiring to me, and I am moving into this new area of creativity where photography meets brand meets economics meets the consumer, and consumers go right to the art form to complete the circle of a purchase or to complete the circle of something that's going to enhance their life. If you're out there, I hope that you understand these very important concepts, because doing photography right it has just been so good to me and rewarding to me, that if you are a new up-and-comer, if you have a phone, if you have a camera, if you can tell a story, if you can put it out there, I urge all of my creators to get to telling their story. We are living in a time of day like no other, where you can go direct to consumer, direct to friends, direct to family, direct to social media, convey your art form, and tell your story of who you are. Speaking of some cool shit like that, shout out to my boy T Banks. Tanner Banks, bro, I see you. Yo, listen, Tanner helped me. This is a guy named T Banks. For all of you who don't know, T Banks is a very cool guy. He's out there in California right now making some of his own products and selling his own brands, living by the American dream. This man literally helped me at a very tough point in my life when I had no one else to turn to, when I was down and the chips were low and I had nowhere to go. My dog T Banks really helped me out, so shout out to you, my man. You have fucking saved me at a point in time, and we will always be legends, and the game has just begun. This pandemic can't stop us, son. You know what it is, man. It's your boy Chill City. Let's wrap it up with some hot topics for the next episode on the way. Yo, I cannot even believe it. So look, 30 minutes in, that about wraps up the whole entire podcast. We talked about PlayStation's Captain America, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Rick and Morty. Make sure you go hit me up at chillcitymiami.com. We got to talk about the philosophical thoughts of artificial intelligence in the real world thanks to the video game Metal Gear Photography. A shout out to my boy T Banks. That was the #1 episode of this season of Chill City podcast. Wow. Thank you guys for everybody. I'm working on the music. You know what it is. Make sure you tweet me at Chill City. Let's go, man. Let's wrap this up. Yo, what up, man? It's your boy Chill City, bringing you the hottest podcast in the world. Stay tuned for this exclusive magic. I am excited and happy to bring you the hottest topics of all time. This is the #1 podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and all of the world. Brought to you by an American boy chilling in America. Listen to the hottest tracks. You know my music, and you know this podcast is #1 like me and you. Let's do it. Let's go.